Here we go, sports fans. Welcome to episode
Let's go.
14.
Do it.
14's pretty cool, eh? Did you think we would get to 14?
No, sir.
We did, though. Some may argue that we shouldn't have bothered getting to 14.
But they're haters.
Maybe rightly. Maybe rightly, maybe wrongly. But haters they are for sure. Sometimes a hater can be right, though.
But that's why you don't listen to the comments. And you block them out. Haters.
Have you looked at a lot of the comments?
I wouldn't say I've looked at a lot of the comments, but I've looked at some of the comments. And it's getting pretty dark.
Well, here's the way I look at it. I haven't looked at all of the comments, but I look at a lot of the comments. And a lot of them take no prisoners. And they're quite... Let's say some of them are at least borderline insulting.
Yeah.
And definitely question our intellect, let's say.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's easy to read those and question yourself. It's very easy to question yourself. But then I always remember most of the people that I meet on the street, I think, are fucking morons. So if most people are morons anyway, the subset of those people who then comment on YouTube videos, are they smarter or less smart than normal people on average, do you think?
I don't know where people find the time, honestly, to write comments on YouTube.
Hey, don't discourage them.
No, I'm just...
It's good for the algorithm. Keep commenting. Tell me how much of a prick I am. Go on. Keep doing it.
Don't stop.
Don't stop. Keep watching it. Keep commenting on it.
I
Send it to your friends as well. When you see this, send it to your friends and tell them how much of an idiot I am. Go on, please.
I just want to know where you get the time. Like, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, I know a few people in my short little existence on this planet, and not one of them has the time to write any comments on any platform ever. So I just want to know where you get the time.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question. But yeah, so welcome everyone to episode 14. As promised, today's episode is going to be a little bit more light-hearted, a little bit more jovial, a little bit less doom and gloom, a little bit less worry.
And if you get a little bit doom and gloom, I'll pull you out of the hole. I'll got you.
Yeah, and I'm in the mindset of pulling myself out of that hole as well. So we're just going to have a bit of fun today, and you're welcome to come along for the ride. I'm wearing a nice, fun shirt to complement proceedings. For two reasons, actually. One, because it's a very fetching floral shirt that you can only have fun wearing. But two, because it was hot in London today. In relative terms, hot, I would say. It was a full 60 degrees in London today. How do you feel about that?
Don't do that.
Do what?
Do that. That's 60. It confuses people. You're supposed to say 16, not 60.
60 degrees Fahrenheit is about 16 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, so say 16.
No, I like using freedom units, dude.
Did it bother your parents?
No. Listen. Nothing would bother them. But when describing temperature, Fahrenheit is the better scale. Haters will say that I'm wrong, but you're wrong, haters. If if you want to accurately describe the temperature, use Fahrenheit. Simple as that.
But the freezing point of water happens at 0.
The freezing point of water is mainly irrelevant.
That's weird. Because, like, if you're boiling water, it's at 100 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, so why don't we base it off of the boiling point of water then?
Because boiling and freezing. And it is based off 100 degrees Celsius, because you wouldn't be alive if it was 100 degrees Celsius. But if it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit, somehow you can fucking live.
How good is 100 degrees Fahrenheit?
It's not good. Not good for anybody. Not good for
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? It's not good
100
for
degrees, 100 degrees Fahrenheit is probably the best temperature on Earth.
You fucking upset me daily.
Listen, you're a bit ginger, right? But for normal people, 100 degrees is beautiful. It's oppressively hot, right? It's so hot it makes you not want to do anything, which is good. It's hard to have many worries at 100 degrees. All you're doing is wearing a shirt like this, kicking back with a Coors Light, maybe having a smoke if you're that way inclined. But you're going to have an amazing time. You're just going to sit at the beach. Water's going to be falling onto your lap. You're going to have a great day. 100 degrees Fahrenheit is the best temperature.
You speak about me being a ginger. Dude, I get sunburnt sitting in the closet. Like, yeah, I get sunburnt 10 degrees, 15 degrees Celsius, 20 degrees Celsius. It doesn't matter, right?
Do you use sunscreen?
No, not anymore. It doesn't work. I'm a bit of a day walker, right? I'm going to use it. I need like that 100,000 plus SPF.
I want to talk about sunscreen, but I'm not allowed to in this episode. Because we're only having fun in this episode. So next time I'll talk about sunscreen and why you shouldn't use it. But today we're going to gloss over it. Because we're just about having fun.
I don't use sunscreen anymore.
I haven't used it for years.
I am light-skinned, and I understand I get sunburned, but I choose to drink my Coors Lights on a beach under a palm tree. I'll use an umbrella. Like, I will shade myself.
The thing is that, okay, I don't know when sunscreen was invented. I'm going to talk about sunscreen, all right? Allow me this one. You shouldn't use sunscreen.
Why?
It's fucking poisonous.
Okay.
It's terrible for you. It's you're better off taking your chances with the sun than you are with putting that poison shit all over your skin.
Okay. Do you use deodorant?
No.
Fuck off. Really?
Serious. I'll tell you what I do is when I'm at work, I have a splash of eau de cologne, but I don't put it on my skin. I put it on my clothes.
Dude, if you're not wearing deodorant, just a little au natural deodorant, and you're in 100 degrees, you must... boy.
Well, no, here's the thing. All of these maladies, like sunburn and smelling really bad, come about from poor diet. So if you fix that, you find you don't burn in the sun so much. Another reason why people burn now more than they maybe did 100 years ago is because we fucking sit in the sun in the middle of the day. How dumb is that? Think about it.
Yeah.
And think, oh, it's all right, I put sunscreen on. That's stupid. Like you said, you're supposed to sit in the shade in the middle of the day.
I love the shade.
Right? I like being in the sun. I like to be directly in the sun. But I don't like to just sit in the sun. There's an Italian chef. I can't remember his name now, but he's a legend. Gennaro Contaldo. And he described a process for cooking where I believe he was making a spaghetti carbonara. And spaghetti carbonara is probably the best pasta dish in the world. And so simple as well. So simple. 4 ingredients. Anyone who tells you there's more is a fraud, a charlatan. Don't listen to them. When you're making spaghetti carbonara, all you need is spaghetti. guanciale, pecorino cheese, and egg yolks.
Boom.
Oh, and water and salt, if you count that as an ingredient.
Charlatan.
So, he was making spaghetti alla carbonara with love and with passion. You know, in that way that only Italians can do.
Yeah.
And he said that it was important to keep the pan moving so that it doesn't... Okay. And he said, just like the sun, if you move, it sweats, and if you sit, it burns. And I thought, that's an ancient piece of wisdom. His grandmother probably told him that. And he never thought anything of it. And his grandmother probably got told by her grandmother and never thought anything of it. But that's a piece of ancient wisdom. Think about it like this. Are you more likely to get a sunburn if you sit in the sun in the middle of the day, or if you're out running in the sun in the middle of the day?
Dude, what are you doing? You can get sunburnt if you're running in the sun in the middle of the day. Doesn't matter if you're running.
It matters a huge deal. You got to keep moving. If you're in the sun, you got to keep moving. You can't just be sitting still.
Okay, look.
Because
I'm happy to sit here and entertain the conversation that yes, sunscreen on your skin, no good. Other options to use: beef tallow. Beef tallow is great. Okay, it moisturizes the skin and it aids against too much sun if you're out too long. Deodorant. Yeah, I use deodorant, but it has no aluminiums, no parabens, no fucking bad shit. It's all natural ingredients, and yeah, it's fucking sick. It has a light aromatic smell. I am not about to sit here and have you tell me that if you run in the sun, you're not going to get as burned.
I'm not saying that you won't burn. I'm just saying you're less likely to burn. Because as you're moving around, it's not one piece of skin that's directly in the sun all the time. Like it's maybe it's on your face and your front, but then you turn and it's on your shoulder and your back, and it's all over you. So you're not getting the same direct blast all in one spot for a continued period of time. So, think about it.
What you're saying is if I sat on my butt and faced the beach and did not move for an hour, and versus me running around the block because there's 4 fucking corners and that block takes 1 hour to go around, I will equally get burned versus then get scorched in the one position. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying that you'll be less likely to burn overall because the load is spread better. It's like, do you remember with the China virus, they said to flatten the curve? They weren't suggesting that the curve was any smaller, just that it was longer. So you get the same amount of sun exposure, but it's spread more evenly across your body.
You think you're a rotisserie chicken?
Yeah, think about it this way, right? A rotisserie chicken doesn't cook quite as quickly as a chicken that's in directly on the flame. Think about it.
But
think
it's
about
only
it.
Cooked on one fucking side. If it's a
Exactly.
It's getting cooked
Exactly. So if you have a rotisserie chicken, it cooks evenly all over, slowly, right? But if you have a rotisserie chicken that's broken and it's just one side facing the flame, that one side is going to fucking burn quickly.
Get burned. You're still going to get cooked.
I'm not saying that you run around all day in the sun. My first point, if you recall, was that you shouldn't spend the middle of the day out in the sunshine.
That's right.
Especially if you're ginger like you.
Definitely not. Stay indoors. Stay in a
because
cupboard.
you can't handle it.
While the sun's out, stay indoors.
We've already mentioned on previous episodes how much I like running in the sunshine in the summer. No shirt.
Bother me, man.
Do you like doing that? Do you like running with no shirt?
No.
Dude, it's so liberating.
I don't get to do it often out here, man.
I truly believe that it's impossible to feel any negative feelings while you're running in the sunshine with no shirt on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just put on a light t-shirt, light shorts, have at it.
Listen,
You don't want to catch me if I'm running past you at a traffic light and I have my shirt off. You're gonna get wet.
fine. So be it.
Like, you're gonna get wet. It's not good.
That's the cost of doing business, I guess. But listen, there's nothing more liberating than running around on a hot sunny day with no shirt on. It's impossible to feel bad. It's impossible to feel depressed. It's impossible to be stressed about anything. Because what can stress you out when you're running with no shirt on? Nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool, man.
And then you finish the run and you have a nice big glass warm milk. Fucked that up, didn't I?
Warm milk.
And then you finish the run and you have this beautiful cold glass of milk. Delicious. Can't wait for the summer.
It's already there by the sounds of things.
I wish. Hey, I'll tell you what. I was cycling today and I realised there is nothing you can do that's cooler than cycling while not touching the handlebars of your bike.
Oh, you learned that skill.
Can you do it? Are you any good at it?
I've only gotten good at it because I've spent so much fucking time on my bike now. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, that's basically it, right? The better bike handler you are, the more able you are to do it.
Well, yeah, no, but like before I was doing mountain biking and I didn't really have the skill dialed in and I was scared.
I love doing it.
But
It's
then
my favorite.
The road bike. I feel way more stable.
It's my favorite way to cycle. There's an unwritten. It's not a rule, but it's an unwritten acknowledgement that when two people cycle past each other and neither is holding on to the handlebars, you look at each other and you know we could take on the world.
Yeah, we'll suck each other's willies, but...
Listen, this sounds like bitterness and jealousy. I thought we were having a high energy...
Bitterness and jealousy? No,
listen,
there's a lot of people that ride around here, man.
I'll tell you what, I used to be able to cycle home from work, and if the traffic lights lined up well, I didn't have to touch the handlebars the whole way.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, how cool is that? And it was in the middle of the night, so sometimes even if the traffic light was red, I'd just go right through it anyway.
But if you saw another cyclist not touching the handlebars, you'd go.
Yeah, or wave, something like that.
Yeah.
But there'd be a moment of appreciation. You got to do it. What choice do you have?
Get comfy. You good?
I'm extremely comfortable. Maybe even too comfortable.
Shot out of the cannon, real quick. Would you rather 50 pounds or a 50 IQ?
You're gonna have to ask that again, but set it up better.
What?
Because
Would you rather have 50 pounds of muscle? Okay, 50 pounds of muscle.
Why don't you start again and ask it fully? Because I know what you're talking about, but I know that the way you ask that isn't going to be sufficient for the sports fans who are trying to follow along.
Would you rather have 50 pounds of muscle or a 50 IQ? You better? You good?
That was the most retarded question I've ever heard. Would you rather have 50 pounds of muscle or 50 IQ?
Yeah. How's that the most retarded fucking thing you've ever heard?
Yes, it is, because you're asking me if I'd like to have a 50 IQ.
Yeah.
It sounds like you have a 50 IQ. Think about it.
I asked for the 50 pounds of muscle.
Let me ask the question to you, right? Just in a way that people will understand. Hey, Corey, would you rather gain 50 pounds of muscle or gain 50 IQ points?
Gain 50 IQ. No, that's not the what. It's not. It's not like gaining 50 points. Would you rather have gained 50 pounds of muscle, or would you rather a 50
Is
IQ?
that the question?
I think so.
I thought it was, would you rather gain 50 this or 50 that?
Okay, let's do it your way.
Okay. Would you rather gain 50 pounds of muscle or gain 50 IQ points?
It's still 50 pounds of muscle for me, man.
Really? You'd be a real weapon if you had 100 IQ.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have 50
Think
pounds of
about
muscle.
what you could do if you had an average IQ.
Think about what you can do with 50 pounds of muscle. I'll be out there doing these ones.
Well, that's what you do now, isn't it?
Well, no, I just don't have the 50 pounds of muscle.
Why not?
Because that's a lot. And you'd look like I would be at today 270 pounds, and I'd have an extra 50 pounds of muscle. So, yeah, I probably would fit into the screen, you know?
You'd be a bit of a behemoth at that weight.
Yeah. So, keep on going up, I say. More plates, more dates.
What do you think of that guy?
I like him.
Why?
Why? I mean, I think he's been on that side of the gym side where he's like lifting weights solely and then using the performance enhancing items to get that way, and then now he's coming on the other side where he's like, maybe you don't have to use those and there's different alternatives.
Is he natty?
I think he's natty now.
But formerly wasn't.
Formerly wasn't.
Because he exposed the Liver King, right?
Was it him or Paul Salandino?
No, it was him.
Okay.
I think.
Well, Paul Salandino asked the question. I remember that.
I think everyone was asking the question when they saw the abs on the guy who's in his 50s. Do you remember how wild that whole Liver King couple of years was?
It was awesome. It was like
when he was... Yeah, the Liver King was a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah. I still follow him on Instagram. It's good TV.
See, I don't follow him on Instagram anymore. But I remember there was a time where he was probably the most famous person in the world.
Yeah.
The Liver King. I think regardless of any performance enhancing drugs that he was taking, the guy was still in incredible shape and clearly worked really hard to get there. And it's a shame that I think a lot of his messaging was actually quite good. And I think a lot of the things that he did were quite good ideals to strive for. It's just a shame that because of the performance enhancing drugs, he's now completely discredited.
Yeah, but I think you said something there where, like, he talks like he talks like in good, I guess, like in spirits and motivational and that kind of things. Like if you take his mindset, like and all that, that's kind of, I guess, cool or trending. I guess it's a good motivational kind of.
No, not even that. Not even that.
Discipline. I guess discipline.
What I mean is that I think he had some really good core messaging in that, the importance of working hard and discipline, but also eating well. He was huge on family and the importance of family and maintaining a strong family unit, but also big on, health and wellness and happiness. But because he got caught the way he did and wasn't open and honest about the steroids, it completely discredited him in the eyes of most people. And then that whole good message is lost then. no one's listening to that anymore because they've moved on to the next freak show. But I think if he had just if he hadn't if he hadn't been taking performance enhancing drugs
Right.
and maybe wasn't as big, but still was in great shape and preached the way he did and tried to help people the way he did, I think he could have been a really good force for good.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because I'm still following or whatever, but I feel like it is still like it's just obviously don't take the performance enhancing drugs into account, but everything that you just said, the family, the discipline, the motivation, all of that stuff.
Like he seems to have.
I think the message is still there.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone's listening anymore. That's the thing, right? I think that he had. Listen, at the time when he was really popular, I worked with a whole bunch of teenagers, and they all listened to every word he said. Right? Like they used to throw Liver King references at me all the time. So he
Those
had
savages?
yeah, like but he had the attention of a lot of the youth, right?
Right.
And now all that's disappeared, and you just don't hear about him anymore. And it's like he's
Yeah,
gone. It's like he's disappeared.
but that could also do with like the 15 minutes of fame, that kind of thing, right? Like
Maybe.
that moves on to the next thing. The next big thing, which is if that's what you want to talk about, the next big thing then I guess, as far as like a performance enhancing approach would be C-Bomb. Like he's fucking massive. He's fucking huge. But
Is Chris Bumstead on steroids?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is he?
But he hasn't said that he's not.
Oh, has he said
Right?
that he is?
I don't think he said that he is, but I think has also said he hasn't either. Like he's like, don't tell me that The Rock isn't on the juice.
Well, officially he's not.
Yeah, well, so was but the Liver King. All he was doing was saying that I'm natty, but that was just incorrect.
Is The Rock on steroids?
Yeah, he's on those good performance enhancers.
Is it dangerous for them to be on steroids and not be open about it?
Well, I think,
Or is it more dangerous for them to be on steroids and be open about it and to normalize steroids use?
yeah, I think that's the negative approach.
There's drawbacks to both, right?
Oh yeah, big time.
Like, if we agree that it's better for people, for their health, not to use steroids, what's more likely to get people to use steroids? Someone who's on steroids denying it and saying that they aren't on steroids, or someone that is on steroids saying that yes, they are on steroids?
Jeez, you're asking a fucking question.
I know. That might be too much for your 50 IQs.
Yeah, I just got the 50 pounds, right?
But you know what I mean? Is it
I do.
like,
I do know what you mean. It's just a tricky one because you see,
would
if you look,
would we be better off? Would we be better off if these public figures who are on steroids were more open about their steroid use, or would that only then encourage teenagers, young guys,
yeah,
to then say, "Okay, I'm going to go on steroids because I want to look like The Rock"?
yeah. I think if they openly came out and said, "Hey, I'm on the juice," I think the young ones that have action figurines and a whole bunch of shit, John Cena and The Rock, and they'll be like, "Okay, well, I'm going to take that route," and it could be terrible. It could be because you don't know where they're getting the product, and then these other guys that know exactly where the product's coming from, they're able to do it safely in a safe environment. So I think it'd be bad if they came out and said it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not discrediting hard work as well. Like I don't know that The Rock is not on the juice. I don't know, like hard work's a thing, and that guy fucking works out. Like he's fucking huge, but he's also turn back the time from when he was at the Calgary Stampeders to where he is today at the age of 50-something.
He's bigger now in his 50s than he was at 30.
Exactly.
Which
yeah.
is, let's say that's not typical biologically.
Yeah, so he's got to be enhanced. So maybe it's not steroids. Maybe it's a new thing. I don't know. But he's definitely enhanced. And that's fine. Who gives a fuck?
Have you
he's not competing.
Have you heard of Vince Gironda?
No.
Vince Gironda was an old school bodybuilder, pre-Arnold era.
Okay.
And he said that eating 36 eggs a day is as good as a mild steroid cycle.
Mild.
Yeah, no, I don't know what he means by mild, but look this guy up. He is in incredible shape. He's nowhere near as big as Arnold, but the shape is there and the definition is incredible. And he used to eat 36 eggs a day.
Yeah, that's a fucking hefty grocery bill.
Well, it is in Canada, that's for sure. How much are your groceries now? $1,000 every time?
Oh man, it's ongoing for me. I find myself at the fucking butcher or at the fucking grocery store like once or twice. No, not once or twice but like once or twice a week for sure. Like three times a week I'll be at a grocery store or butcher for sure.
Couple $100 a time?
Oh yeah.
Price of food in Canada is insane.
Why is it cheaper where you are?
Dude, it's completely different pricing. Everyone in the UK complains that food is expensive, but they have no idea how cheap it actually is here.
So how much is it? How much is for 12 eggs?
12 eggs is okay. If you want, I only buy the free range organic eggs.
Same.
And 12 of those in the UK is about £4.50, £5.
And last time I checked, let's just call it £4.50. Last time I checked, that the pound to Canadian dollar.
It's about 1.7.
Okay, so it's more than I was going to say 1.5. So it's about at $4.50, $9 for 12 eggs Canadian. Would you agree?
No. So it's like $7.50.
Okay. So $7.50. So you pay £4.50. £4.50 is $7.50 Canadian. Okay. I get eggs, those 12 eggs, the free range organic, for $9.50 Canadian.
That's cheap compared to other Canadian things, though. I remember the groceries in Canada are just extortionately expensive.
Well, there is areas that you can go, especially where I am in Alberta, where you can get the good at somewhat of a reasonable price.
How much is milk there?
Okay, yeah, so that one was fucking crazy the other day. So 2 liters, I paid organic. It's not like full cream. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's like 3.25%.
It's what you would call homo milk.
Yeah, that. So
that's what they call it in Canada. Homo milk. That's
okay.
That's not being offensive. That's what they call it.
Okay, homo milk it is. I paid for 2 liters. It was like $7.
That's insanely expensive.
That was also like the good, the organic, free range, grass fed.
Yeah, but that's £2 in England.
Yeah, amazing. That's fucking great. That's fucking great. But if we're gonna do this, how much you pay for a liter of petrol?
Yeah, there's more, isn't it? A litre of petrol is about £1.50 here.
See, now that's fucked.
Yeah.
Where I'm located, but in other provinces, it's probably the fucking same.
This is a really boring episode, just talking about cost of living. I thought
What
we
do
were
you
going to have a
mean?
fun
We
one.
just talked about
You know,
steroids and fucking 50 IQs. I thought it was
you
exciting.
know what's insane? You know what's insane? Every country right now is blaming their politicians for the cost of living going up,
Okay.
which it has. Cost of living has gone up in Canada, right? And everyone says it's Trudeau's fault. What no one seems to realize is that the cost of living has gone up in every country.
Okay.
So it can't be Trudeau's fault. Someone above him with their tentacles. We're not going to talk about this today. Maybe next time.
With their tentacles, as he's doing puppet motions. What is it? An octopus?
Like that.
An octopus is leading the fucking world. Maybe because an octopus is
It might
super
not.
intelligent.
It might not be an octopus, but it's definitely some kind of lizard.
Okay, I'm gonna bring you back. I'm gonna bring you back real quick. Okay.
Okay.
Did you hear about the? Speaking of octopuses, did you hear about the? This is how clever they are. It was an aquarium. It could be the San Diego. Don't quote me. But there was a tank that had a whole bunch of these little coral fishes, like Nemos and shit. And it was like this little like ecosystem, and they would cruise around, enjoy their time. And then literally a whole like walkway, and then another tank was an octopus, right? There's this coral octopus, same kind of environment, tropical, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And every day, the attendants would come into the aquarium, and they would look into the fish tank, and the fishes are fucking gone. Like there might be like 2 or 3 left. So they put more fish in. Like, what the fuck is happening to these fishes? Thinking like kids are putting their hands in and shit. Like, no, they had cameras and they watched it. It was weird. Till they looked at the cameras and the octopus would push the perspex lid off, wait for security to do its rounds, and walk around the aquarium and then disappear. He would time it, come out of the tank, along the floor, up the other side, put his tentacle in to the fish, and then start eating the fish.
Wait, out of the water?
Yeah. The octopus came out of the water, onto the ground, up, had enough time, grab a few fish,
Shit.
come back up, and jump back into the fucking tank.
Octopuses are scary intelligent, aren't they?
He moved the lid back into place, so even if the guard was to come back around and be like, hey, that lid's moved. No, the lid was back in place. So now they lock the octopus in. He can't escape. They use a padlock.
Did they get that on film?
Yeah, it's on film. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's how smart they are. And then not only their intelligence, their strength and dexterity and like the way that they move. Did you see the octopus that was in the fishing net and then it went to escape?
No.
Oh man, dude, do you even like octopuses? Fucking octopuses in the net.
I think they're called octopi in the plural, are they not?
Cool. I'm not a huge fan. I just know about them. But he pulls the net, a whole bunch of fish come open, there's an octopus in there. Big red bastard. And then he's like on the deck, they're moving the fish away, then they see the octopus start scurrying away. They're like, how the fuck is this octopus going to escape? There's this little fucking hole like this, where the water would like land on the deck and then kind of like back to the ocean. This octopus, man, squeezed its way through this fucking pipe. And this is a big fucking octopus. Squeezes its way through this little fucking hole. Squeeze. And then just starts reaching his tentacles further and further and further. And whoop, drops into the ocean.
Yeah, they're incredibly agile, aren't they? They've basically got like a beak or something, haven't they? It's like one solid part.
Yeah.
And then everything else is dexterous, right? They can get through anything that like beak can get through.
Yeah, it's fucking fascinating.
Have you ever seen one in the water?
Yeah, and squid. So we used to go
Where?
fishing
Where'd you see those?
in Tasmania.
Mm.
So to go floundering, you know what a flounder looks like? You know what
Yeah,
kind
it's a
of looks like.
big flat fish, isn't it?
Big flat fish, bottom feeder, but its eyes are on the top, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of looks fucking alien.
They
So it
all look the
cruises along the bottom.
same.
What do you mean? The flounder?
No, all the flatfish, they look the same.
Yeah, like halibut.
Yeah, like halibut,
Yeah,
plaice, Dover sole,
place. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they all look the same.
Yeah, so to go fishing, right? Like we used to spear. So we could wait for low tide, and they get caught in these areas, and then you can kind of see them with a light. They get stunned by the light. You never do it on a full moon because they're already fucking stunned. They're out doing whatever the fuck. So you spear and bang, throw that in. But at the same time, you get all these other marine creatures. So you're just wading through like waist deep water at best. And you get all these other like nighttime marine creatures, and you get these bioluminescent squids that just come just cruising past and stuff. Yeah, super fucking cool. And then yeah, you see octopus and squid, garfish.
I don't really go in the ocean.
Yeah, but you like fucking hanging around at 100-degree days, don't you?
Yeah, I like being right next to the ocean, but I don't really like going in the ocean.
Yeah, I love it.
It's not really my domain. I have no business being in there. And I think
what is your domain?
the land.
That's your domain?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah. Dude, you could go in the ocean and you could get murked in about 10 seconds.
What
And
makes
you
you
wouldn't.
can't get murked on the fucking land?
Because I can see things on the land. When you're in the ocean floundering about, even if you're a strong swimmer, which I know you are, a salmon could kill you in the ocean if it wanted to.
Come on now, look, okay. Let's be real here. Strong swimmer or not, Mick Fanning punched a shark in the nose. Okay, it's possible, right? You want to talk about survival in the ocean? Yeah, it can happen, but you can also lose a leg. You can also lose a leg. But you know what? You say you can see it coming on the land. You can't see a fucking cougar come at you in the
Yeah, but you shouldn't be in the cougar land anyway. Point is, Mick Fanning may have punched a shark. Mick Fanning may have punched a shark, and then it left him alone. But how many other people have punched a shark, and then the shark just ate them anyway? You don't hear about those stories, do you?
Probably because they weren't Australian, mate.
Think about it. It's all well and good him saying, "Oh, I punched it," and then it swam off. But how do you know that the guy in Jaws didn't punch the shark and then it still ate him?
Yeah, sometimes you won't see it coming, right? I get it. I get what you're saying, okay? But you can equally get murked, your words, on the land just as easy. You can get murked by a coconut. The statistic is you can get hit in the head by a coconut before you get attacked by a shark.
That's got to be one of the worst. That's got to be one of the worst places to go, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the shit that you feel safe on. You feel safe on the land?
Hey, you're the one who said that you like to lie down under a palm tree.
Yeah.
That's lying down under a palm tree is the best place to get killed by a coconut.
Yeah.
Number one spot in the whole world. Serious. You're asking for it. Would you rather take your chances with the sun or a coconut?
Fuck, you know me, mate. Look at this fucking colour.
Ginger.
You know where I be.
You're not that ginger, though. You're a little bit ginger.
It's only ginger in my face.
Shut up. Your top hair's ginger as well.
No, it's not, boy.
I bet if you pulled your shorts down as well, you'd have a ginger Speedo full of Brillo.
Definitely not. Definitely not. It's seriously only in my face, bro.
This has been the most silly episode, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, you fucking started it.
Yeah, only by your demand.
My demand? All I said was sunscreen and you went fucking mental.
No, I know, no. I mean, it's been a little bit more light-hearted, this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I will go into depth on sunscreen next week.
Good.
I'll give you a fucking essay as to why you shouldn't be using sunscreen.
Perfect. I love it.
Why don't we, next week, we will talk about these things, like sunscreen, like deodorant. We'll do some research, and we will present the reasons why we shouldn't be using toxic chemicals like this. How about that?
Yeah, I like that.
So we've gone from doom and gloom to dicking around talking about The Rock. Next week, we're back to not doom and gloom, but some serious topics.
Some facts.
Some facts. Sounds good?
That's great.
All right then. Let's wrap it up. Thanks, sports fans.
Whoa, how'd you do that?
I did a thumbs up. Yeah, it's not liking you. Cheers, sports fans.